Cool. So hello, everyone. As she said, my name is Vytautas, or Vytas is easier. Originally, as you can tell, Lithuanian, but 8 years already in Spain and Costa. So sí, ya hablo español, poquito. Hacker by nature. So as well, I think I started to break things apart, look at the electronic gadgets, get the local area network first in the village, because I was really driven by IT computers and those new stuff which came along with it. And that's actually natural, became Java engineer. And later on in my career, I was switching between Java engineer and engineer manager multiple times. So I think the reason why I think I have interesting perspective, it's never been easier to work as an engineer after being engineer manager. Because I think when you know clearly what is expected from you in every situation, that helps a lot to be effective, to be useful, to be perceived, and to be good colleague, because you know what people need from you, even if they don't know what they need from you. So it's really helpful. And this is why I will a little bit expand on that, and actually the career progression and what other people expect from you as an engineer. So I hope that maybe it will be useful for someone. If at least one person will learn something useful for their career, I'm very happy. And for all of you, yeah, I hope it will be at least entertaining after lunch and you will not fall asleep. And yeah, these are a couple of my hobbies and etc. And I think that explains why I like here. Scuba diving or water sports, hiking is an amazing place to live in Malaga. So if you are not living in Malaga yet, highly recommend. Cool, let's dive into career or engineering journey. I know I'll take, maybe some might not agree with me, that engineering maybe might be not only a career or what is needed at your workplace. I'm taking this narrow perspective of how to create, how to be useful at work, how to progress in your career, with my assumption that this is how you will create value, right? How you will be useful in a company and how to maximize your engineering output to become more useful or more valuable for your team, right? Because I believe it's all the work we do, all the technologies which we learn, it's for the greater good, to work in the team, to support your company, to exchange your skills for something back. Maybe it's a salary, maybe it's good working condition or whatever is working package, but I see it as a good agreement and friendly agreement with your employer. Such a bad word here, right? But it's still, you provide value and employer gives you some benefits back, right? And the more value you can provide, and I think that's a framework which I'm personally, at least I behave. If I want to progress more and if I want to get more in return, first thing which I do, I invest more into my skills so that I could provide more value for my company, my colleagues, or maybe for the community as well, like we're doing here, right? Cool, so I will go through the full journey of how I see engineers progressing. And I think beginnings, I don't start with junior levels or anything else. I think this part is very important from day zero, from day one, even before you start joining your first job. I think that breaking things apart, that the hacker term version which I use, I think it's always useful. And I want to mention here, it's really valid for juniors, it's really valid for people who are looking for the first job, is to do your pet projects, to create your own projects, to practice, to play around at home with technologies. I haven't seen, I don't know, maybe there are, but majority of the senior people who I work with, most of them have their pet projects. I know my staff engineer creating online e-shop and integrating all the payments by himself just to create that e-shop for his girlfriend. And other architect coming to the office a bit sleepy because he was doing all-night pairing session with a colleague and trying to make a startup out of it. I mean, you name it. There are all millions of ways to practice and play with colleagues with really zero money. So I think if you are not in a career at any company, it's bad excuse to say that you didn't have the opportunity to practice it. But as well, if you are even senior, I think it's a way really great engineers learn and keep up to date and go up and beyond their capabilities. Cool, next step, we're getting into junior role. So you are this big boy with his big sword up to the first fight. And I think, what's the value of the junior engineer, right? He's all these questions, he requires all this attention from the senior. Like, why bother? Why bother with juniors? And actually, this is one thing, whenever I can, and whenever I have conditions right, which are safe, and when I have enough capacity for my senior, I want to have those little guys not depending on the age, but depending on the attitude and on skill set, right? Those juniors, usually the value they provide is the energy, the passion, the curiosity of how everything works, right? So if you are that little guy, you are super important for the team. Ask your questions, show your passion, learn, right? This is something what you give to the senior people. You give opportunity for that guy to be amazing, right? You give opportunity to that guy to shine. So go ahead, do it. I mean, learn, ask more. If he told you one sentence, ask 3 more so that you would know more and you would allow him to tell you more, right? This is something you need to do. And for you, in order to be successful, I think not going into too complicated things, what seniors are talking, there's a lot of jargon in the business, in the technology and everything. And at this stage, don't overstress yourself with learning everything, but go to the basics. Learn basics and learn them really well. All the shortcuts, all that status transitions, all everything. Do it, but try, if you do it with perfection, these habits stick to you with the rest of your career. I was told off for using mouse with my IntelliJ IDE in the past, and it sticks with me to the day. You never extract, rename, move code around. You never navigate with a mouse. Whenever I see someone clicking the mouse in the tree and trying to find that specific Java file, for me, it's horror. I mean, this is something that shouldn't be allowed, right? But I mean, going to the practices, repeating the same things like katas for unit testing, right? These are things which you need to do and you need to repeat and you need to become fast. You have new idea when you have new things to do. The moment when you understand what needs to be done, the coding part should be easy. It shouldn't be, the tools should not be blocking you, right? And as well, leaving clean working environment afterwards as well helps. Then next time when you start with a new idea, with a new task, with a new goal, then it's easy. And I think it's a good moment to sort of introduce to the concept, I think, which is in my mind is always behind about going towards mastery. I think I should change the topic from going to greatness, but actually going for the mastery, the journey of mastery. This is Shuhari, the concept of Japan. Of course, if it had weird writings, it's always much more valid, right? But I think the simplicity and the power of it is we all go through different stages when trying to acquire mastery, right? So this martial art, I think it's 18th or 16th century in Japan. And the first stage of going towards mastery is Shu. Its translation, I think, is follow, obey. So basically, as I was telling to you about the junior learning the basics, following whatever is told, learn perfectly, follow the process. This is a stage where you are in Shu stage, where you need to follow your master, follow that senior, that big guy, in order to build basic skills, and only then you can progress to the next level. If you progress too fast, if you overstress yourself too fast, things will break, you will have too many gaps, you'll have struggle. So in this stage, it's very good to concentrate, 1, 2, 3, and to follow all the recommendations. Then you move to the next level, Ha. Whenever you have mastery of the basic skills, of the basic rules, then you can break. The meaning of the word Ha is break, break away, break apart. It is the moment when you start to break out of those basic rules. These are the first failures, but you learn to handle them, right? You know where the limits of the rules, which things are working, which are not. So you understand the bigger and profound rule. So as in the next stages, you start to experiment, you start to fail, but in this stage, you already are capable of learning from your failure. And Ri is a word which is for go beyond. This is where you are already capable, you know how the rules, you know their boundaries. In this stage, you are already capable of progressing forward, going for the next step, and you can even combine and write and create your own rules and your own approaches. But as I said, it's better to get strong foundations. It's better to understand the first basic rules which you got from deep inside, and only then to progress, to go beyond. Right? And I'm defining it as a circle. I think in every case, whenever new things, new responsibility, whenever getting AI, right? I think you all know that you follow the same path. First, you follow tutorial, then you need to go to the really getting basic recommendation applied well, and only then you start to combine those different recommendations, and only then you create your own ones. Cool. Next stage, you are becoming engineer. Nice, now you can go really fast because you know everything. You know the basics, you know the product, everything is clear, and you can deal with any task, if it's not too big, and if it's clear. I mean, value of you do all the work. You do all the work if it's not too complicated. If it's too complicated, you need your senior guys. But as well, your value there, you know when to raise your hand, and as well, you know when you can go just crack through, right? As in a high stage of Shuhari, you are practicing, you sometimes start to get out of the basic rules, you start to experiment, you start to fail, first maybe production failure, then you learn how to recover from it, right? So, this is a good moment to start to think about next level, like how to become better and how to become senior, right? I thought that this very well-known concept, but just making sure that everyone knows it, the T-shaped engineer, right? I think everyone should strive for it, and everyone should be T-shaped, and all teams should be T-shaped, right? So basically, yes, I do have my core, which is Java. As you can tell from my ugly slide, by the way, you can tell that I was back-end engineer, right? So, but you concentrate in your core skill set, and you go really deep. You read books, you go to conferences, you try to understand how how Java virtual machine works, right? Or in the front end, you maybe want to understand how browser processes CSS so that it would be more effective, right? So these little by little, but you go really deep, and if you want to be really good and valuable professional, you go deep. But as well, never forget your colleagues and how infra works. You learn that damn Kubernetes, right? Then you learn how HTML works, even though you work with Java. QA, what's that? How do they test? Yeah, you just click around and that's it without any strategy. Or is it? Or why do they need IDs for every test case? Or what does a test run? Or all this jargon, I mean, you should know. And you should actually, I would say, at least these things which are around you within your team, you should be able to substitute your team member without any problem. You will be not professional QA, you will not be professional front-end developer if you are backender, but to solve one bug, I think it shouldn't be a problem. I think if we are engineers really respecting ourselves, I think basic tasks within the team should be something shared. Cool, so we go into the core and we're back to the same picture. This one's different. Now you are the big one. I think the reason why I like this picture, it has meme, it's very popular between engineers, but the funny part which I love, it's the arrows which are falling on the back of this guy. They are not coding challenges, they are not transactions, they are not concurrency, right? These are real world problems, right? Those soft skills, those project manager. And I mean, my point is, in order to protect that little great guy, the future of ours, right? You need to know how to handle those as well. Technology, I think, with senior, you start to get into the place where technology is becoming less and less important. Because by senior level, you know how to reach master, you know how to go deep into your stack, and for you to repeat the add second leg of T is not that hard, because when you go through that one, when you add another T, many things repeat themselves, and you notice patterns. Then you see what was there, and for you to add a new leg is not that hard. But what is hard is those arrows. So, as I said, engineering must be, of course, to be a good engineer, in order to be successful in protecting that little guy, I think you need to be a really good engineer with at least one strong T leg, right? Project management, at least understanding the jargon, at least understanding the concept and how people think about project. What does it mean when it's late project? Why it's late? What is a timeline? What are the tools which project manager tries to use to handle your project? People. That little guy, he might not know many things. How to provide him feedback, how to fix his approach. Maybe he's repeatedly asked the same question. He's damn annoying. Is it because he's bad, or is there maybe there are some other issues? How to handle that? Like, is it always the manager who needs to fix it? I don't know. You tell me. Cool. Business. I think it's as well quite often overlooked part is as well your understanding of the business, the KPI, the metrics, and actually why you get your salary. I think is very important, or at least very useful. It's like if you can address business stakeholders when you are late in the project and everything is failing, and if you know what is the impact you are doing and you know where he will feel the business pain, you most likely be successful to dodge that one arrow. Right, and product. Yeah, of course, all the knobs, all the back offices, all the front end, how to turn off one part. If you break one part, how to turn off the other one, how they are interconnected, and how to fix things. By knowing your product up to the details will be really, really helpful for you. Cool. So you learned all of that. What's next, right? You're senior, you're superstar senior. What's next? Yeah, you become a manager. That's a dream for every engineer, right? So you code, you're amazing coder, you're amazing engineer, you know everything, and then you spend your time in meetings. Yeah, so, yeah. It's a valid career choice. I'm not making fun of myself. Well, I do make fun of myself quite often. I think it's valuable addition. I see myself usually more part of the team with different skill set and different goals, rather than anything else. I do have my skill set, which technical background. I think it helps me to better understand the challenges which team has, and as well it helps me better to promote them outside in the organization. The bigger organization, the more managers you need to have. So it's a necessary evil, I would say, right? And it's a very, very valid career point in you if you have engineering basics and curiosity about people, curiosity about business, curiosity about how to make things done. I think it's a really, really interesting path to go. I think it makes me better worker, but as well better human being. When you go into that path, you have a lot of challenges to figure out how to handle with others, but especially with yourself. So really interesting path. Of course, I'll go to the right side more. Change of tech is always cool place. We just finished rebranding one Java engineer into data engineer. I think he's quite happy. He wasn't all the time, but that's an accident. Some people do this on purpose, and I think it's a really cool way to learn more about different parts of the business, different how things are working. Everyone is interested in AI as well. I think data engineering is a cool path, although I think it's only for the patient ones. But as well, if you like that technology, go for it. I think it's super cool. Product owner, I've seen a couple of successful stories of engineers moving into product and doing really great job. Some of them not really, but I mean, it goes all the ways. And I know one of the companies here around, they have CEO who was an engineer who moved into product, and that full vision of the organization helped him progress really fast afterwards. So it's a really interesting path. Of course, it's more learning. And as well, architect, I think if you like big pictures, if you will not code, I wanted to share actually our architect, our staff engineer, and my own commit log from Git, so that it would make as well thoughts for how to choose the path. It's helpful because, yeah, as an architect, you will coding very little, but you still code, just to be aware about the code, but yeah, most likely you will be more in the meetings. Staff engineer, I'm very happy about our industry. I'm usually very critical about our industry because, I mean, I think we are making too many bugs and too shaky software in general. But one positive change is I think we learn how to appreciate technical skills and technical excellence. And I think having those staff principal roles, paths in many organizations, I think it's very good change where we can appreciate and recognize people for their hard work they do. Yeah, so I think I covered all of them. Yeah. Just maybe my tip how I think about what's the next role where I should move in is like think about which book you would like to read. I'm really a high proponent of the books. I think you need to read at least one book per year in order to be sort of good level, good shape. More would be maybe better. But I mean, so just think about it. Like if you want to go to product, yeah, if you feel interested to read books about the startups, the influential product manager, maybe some business KPIs, maybe how money is made, or I don't know, how to assess value of the company and things like that. Maybe actually product owner is best choice for you. Maybe no need to code more. If you want to know manager's path, maybe generic, but dysfunctions of the team, want to know how people work, how people interact, how they work together best. If you want to know about emotional intelligence, how people react to different situations, how to help them overcome different situations, maybe that's a path to consider team lead manager path. I had a couple of random books about design systems and then designing event-driven systems towards architect. Yeah, if you like, high level, low attention to details, low attention to, I don't know, sockets, connections, and all this jazz. Architects are really good, but as well, you need to communicate a lot with business. Yeah, if you want to be JavaScript ninja, to continue the topic of Shuhari, yeah, you go try to aim for where you can use and achieve staff level. Cool. Overall traits, I think, for if you want to break away from the senior, where I think some people might feel stuck or struggling to go out. I think, yeah, of course, working with technology staffs, architects need to be really on top of the latest trends and latest things, right? Yeah, be role model, do great job, do great code, and try always to improve yourself. Technology, clearly. But as well, I think things are becoming even more important than senior level people and leadership. So positive outlook, how to find positives from every bad situation, how to be humble even though you are the most productive here, how to be good with business people even though they never understand what you say to them, right? These are real challenges and we need to learn to overcome them. And the business. I mean, in general, I think we can talk about communication, but until you know the language of the person who you want to speak with, you will not be successful. So basically, if you struggle to get more time for technical debt, if you want to get more time for your project, if you want to communicate well what this part is late or not, you need to know their language. It's the same as me being angry at you that you don't understand me speaking Lithuanian, right? So unfortunately, yeah, we need to know that devil in life. Cool. Now, quick jump into Leo Vegas to explain, and then maybe I'll manage to connect the dots. So I'm from Leo Vegas, which is a big company started in Sweden, and it was recently, maybe back in 2011, it expanded through Europe, has a lot of products, and lately, 3 years ago, it was acquired by MGM Resorts. So that little lion, if you remember the MGM tiger, it's not related now, but back in the day, it was the same MGM, but it's long time ago. And this one, do you know the location where this picture is from? Vegas, baby, yes, exactly. So we are working with them and we are working as their technological solution for worldwide expansion. So basically we are entertainment company. I mean, sometimes we consider ourselves that now having casino or online casino or sportsbook app is you are competing with Netflix as well for the same people's attention. So it's, in a sense, is no longer the trivial challenge. We have offices all over the Europe, as you can tell, Malta, Spain, Malaga, Gibraltar, of course, Poland, UK, Sweden, where we're from, Netherlands. Recently, we acquired a couple companies in US, so we have Denver and New Jersey office, and as well we have some new colleagues from Medellin, Colombia. So really worldwide company. As you can tell, we have a lot of brands which we maintain, 2 star brands, which are Leo Vegas and BetMGM, as the BetMGM for MGM company. And as you can tell, all the big, I would say sometimes even up to mess of brands. So it's really complicated, big worldwide product. Most of the markets are in Europe, but recently as well we launched in Brazil. So it is becoming really worldwide product. The reason why I'm sharing it is this is our career path in the organization. So basically, we're still trying to maintain challenger organization culture, which is, even though we're 2,000 people, we're aiming to still move as fast as startup, right? We still want to beat some of the market. We still want to compete with our speed. That fortunately, I would say, requires a high level in engineering as well, because a lot of topics between teams is being solved by engineers themselves without any manager involvement. So I think this is why the company really appreciates the fact that there is an additional need for skill set. And maybe it's a repetition from what we went through the initial roles. I just wanted maybe to point out what I like about the document which I found when I joined the company, which is when you join as a junior engineer, you are expected to deliver well on tasks. So it's a complexity level. If you get to senior engineer, you need to perform within the scope of one epic or one feature, right? So basically your ability to split things, to explain problems, to explain business needs, right? So this is already your feature. But you're still individual contributor, you're engineer. As you can tell, if you go to staff and senior staff and principal, you already leave the team. You need to be in the team, in a domain. You need to already interact with multiple stakeholders, and you already see leading word in the definition of the next level, right? Next, of course, senior staff and principal engineer should already do the initiative which affecting all company. So it helps people to self-assess themselves and go forward and say, hey, I think I'm already reaching this level. These are the proofs. Is it worth it to do the correction here? And outcomes might be various. I mean, there are usually other people from other teams are involved in reviewing actually whether it makes sense or not. Yeah, so of course it's really much more detailed oriented, but yeah, I think that's really beauty of the simplicity of the how to define what is the complexity and what is your potential contribution and potential value. Cool. Of course, I had to use this time to promote ourselves. You can Google, it's very easy to Google, or you can scan the QR code, careers at Leo Vegas. Of course, we are Java, Kotlin in the backend, React, React.js, React Native in the front end, Playwright, TypeScript for QAs, BigQuery, Dataform, and a couple other tools. I'm not that strong with data, and GCP, Kubernetes, a little bit of AWS, so just for the sake of knowledge. So, key takeaways. Shoe. Whenever you start, perfect the basics, follow the rules. Learn to break away safely and expand your knowledge. Go beyond, create your own rules and create your things. And finally, yeah, of course, read. Yeah, I left this little hand there just to touch a little bit about AI. I don't think that AI will take away our job. It will be just a new tool to work, to do the same things which I described before. And I think still knowing people, knowing business, and yet new technology, which you know already, adding new T to your T-shape, it's quite easy, right? So yeah, and that's it. Stay in touch, LinkedIn, that's my LinkedIn. Feel free, if you have any questions, disagreements, feel free to chat with me. I really love to talk about career progression. This is actually a job I do, is witness the growth of people and witness their ability to perform at a high level. All the job, it's really beautiful to see sometimes when you see engaged people who really work more, and then you can recognize them for that really hunger and passion and effort. So yeah, cool. That's it from my side. Question time.